History sometimes delivers moments of pure political theater, when the world's attention is riveted on a single stage and the stakes couldn't be higher. These are the moments when leaders make choices that echo far beyond their own borders, shaping the destinies of millions and rewriting the rules of the global game. September 21, 2025, was one of those days. A day that would be dissected by analysts, debated in boardrooms, and remembered by families whose lives were changed in an instant. On one side of the Atlantic, President Donald Trump took the world by surprise. He announced a sweeping new policy, a $100,000 annual fee for every H-1B visa holder. For thousands of skilled workers and the companies that rely on them, it was a thunderclap, a move that effectively slammed the door on foreign talent and sent shockwaves through the tech industry and beyond. The message was blunt and unmistakable. America was closing itself off, choosing protectionism over the open exchange of ideas and skills that had long fueled its innovation. The world watched as the US, once a beacon for dreamers and doers, seemed to turn inward, risking its hard-won reputation as a land of opportunity. Meanwhile, across the ocean in London, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney saw not a threat, but a rare and golden opportunity. As the headlines broke, Carney moved quickly, reading the moment with the calm precision of a seasoned strategist. Carney, measured and forward-thinking, unveiled a bold plan. Canada would open its doors wide to the very talent America was now turning away. He promised a streamlined process, incentives for skilled workers, and a national campaign to welcome innovators, engineers, and entrepreneurs from around the globe. The contrast could not have been more stark. On one side, a leader building barriers and raising walls, on the other, a leader rolling out a welcome mat and inviting the world's best and brightest to help build a new future. For thousands of international workers, the message from Washington was devastating. Dreams of building a life in America were suddenly dashed, replaced by uncertainty and frustration. Companies faced the prospect of losing key talent, and families were left to wonder where they would go next. But in Ottawa and Toronto, the mood was different. Carney's response was swift and decisive. Canada would absorb the skilled workers now priced out of the US, offering them not just a new home, but a chance to thrive and contribute. The message from Canada was clear and unmistakable. If America doesn't want you, we do. Here, your skills are valued, your dreams are welcome, and your future is bright. And we'll make it easy for you to come, turning a moment of political theater into a new chapter of hope and opportunity for thousands. President Trump's executive order imposed a $100,000 annual fee for every new H-1B visa, effective immediately. This wasn't a minor tweak, it was a seismic shift, turning the visa into a luxury only the richest companies could afford. The fee didn't apply retroactively, sparing current visa holders, but it froze the pipeline for new talent. For startups and smaller firms, the cost was insurmountable. The H-1B, once a tool for recruiting global expertise, became a financial wall. The administration framed it as protecting American jobs, but for many, it was a direct attack on innovation. The new policy made hiring foreign talent nearly impossible for all but the largest corporations. It was the most aggressive move yet in Trump's America First agenda. The fallout was immediate and severe. The Trump administration justified the new visa fee as a way to protect American workers, presenting it as a cornerstone of their America First agenda. Officials argued that by increasing the cost for companies to hire foreign talent, they would encourage businesses to look inward and prioritize hiring U.S. citizens. The administration claimed that H-1B visas were being abused to undercut domestic wages, fueling concerns among some American workers about job security and stagnant paychecks. The message was clear: foreign labor was seen as a threat to American livelihoods. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick insisted that the policy would force companies to hire Americans instead of seeking out cheaper foreign labor, framing it as a necessary step to restore fairness in the job market. But this narrative quickly met resistance. Tech leaders and economists pointed out a critical flaw. The U.S. simply doesn't produce enough STEM graduates to fill the ever-growing demand in fields like engineering, computer science, and biotechnology. The talent gap is real and widening. H-1B workers, they argued, don't just fill jobs, they fill critical gaps that would otherwise go unaddressed, driving innovation, supporting startups, and even creating new jobs for Americans through their expertise and entrepreneurial spirit. Studies consistently show that these professionals are not only highly paid, but also bring unique skills and global perspectives that are difficult to find domestically. Their contributions go far beyond simple cost savings for employers. The policy overlooked the symbiotic relationship between domestic and international talent, where collaboration leads to greater productivity, creativity, and economic growth for everyone involved. By framing the issue as a battle of Americans versus foreigners, the administration missed the bigger picture, that the modern workforce is interconnected, and success depends on harnessing talent from around the world. The U.S. tech sector, in particular, relies on global expertise to stay ahead in a fiercely competitive international market. Without access to the best minds, America risks falling behind. The new fee, critics warned, risked stifling growth, discouraging investment, and ultimately undermining America's competitive edge in technology and innovation. Many experts saw the policy as fundamentally flawed, a well-intentioned move that failed to account for the realities of a global economy, and one that could have lasting consequences for American leadership in the world. The $100,000 H-1B fee sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley. Tech giants faced massive new costs, but for startups, the policy was a death sentence. Industry leaders warned it would disrupt access to essential talent and threaten America's innovation pipeline. The human cost was immense, especially for Indian and Chinese professionals, who make up the majority of H-1B recipients. For many, years of investment and dreams of working in the U.S. were suddenly dashed. The policy created anxiety and uncertainty not just for would-be immigrants but for the entire tech sector. It sent a chilling message. Skilled immigrants were no longer welcome. The U.S. risked losing its reputation as a land of opportunity. The fallout was both economic and deeply personal. As the U.S. tech world reeled from the shockwaves of new immigration barriers, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney saw a rare opening. While American companies scrambled to understand the implications of Trump's H-1B fee, Carney moved quickly and decisively, determined to turn this moment into a turning point for Canada's future. He called Trump's H-1B fee a golden opportunity for Canada, framing it as a chance to attract the world's brightest minds. Carney promised swift, concrete action, signaling to both Canadian businesses and international talent that Canada was open for business, and ready to welcome those seeking a new start. Carney's message was direct and bold. Canada would become the new destination for global tech talent. He spoke not just to the business community but to families, students, and skilled professionals worldwide, inviting them to build their futures in a country that values innovation and diversity. He announced ambitious plans for fast-track visas, streamlined application processes, and clear, reliable paths to permanent residency. Carney emphasized support for relocating families, promising resources to help newcomers settle and thrive in Canadian communities. This wasn't just political rhetoric. Canada was ready to act. Government agencies were mobilized, new policies drafted, and partnerships formed with tech companies eager to hire global talent. Carney's approach positioned Canada as agile, forward-thinking, and responsive, in stark contrast to the rising protectionism south of the border. The message was clear. While others closed doors, Canada was rolling out the welcome mat. The proposal specifically targeted the very workers the U.S. was pushing away, especially highly skilled professionals from India and China who had long powered Silicon Valley's growth. Canada's offer was more than just a job. It was stability, opportunity, and a welcoming new home for families seeking a brighter future. The promise of a safe, inclusive society resonated with many. The country aimed to become the world's top magnet for skilled professionals, building a workforce as diverse as its cities. Carney envisioned Canada as a global hub for innovation, creativity, and collaboration. Carney's strategy was to build bridges, not walls, fostering connections between people, businesses, and nations. With bold leadership and a clear vision, Canada was actively shaping the future of global talent migration, inviting the world's best and brightest to call it home. Carney's promise wasn't empty. Canada already had a strong record of attracting tech talent. While U.S. immigration stalled, Canada streamlined its processes and welcomed thousands of skilled workers. In 2022 to 23, Canada brought in 32,000 tech professionals, nearly half from India. The country's policies led directly to citizenship, offering long-term security. Programs like the Global Skills Strategy and Express Entry made immigration fast and predictable. In 2024, 87,000 Indians became Canadian citizens, the largest group from any nation. Canada wasn't just offering jobs, it was offering a future. The infrastructure was in place to absorb even more talent. Carney was simply accelerating a winning strategy. Canada wasn't alone in seeing opportunity. Trump's policy sparked a global race for tech talent, with countries like Germany and the UK jumping in. Germany sought to fill its own skills gap by courting displaced engineers and IT professionals. The UK considered eliminating visa fees for top talent, signaling a new openness post-Brexit. America's competitors recognized that skilled workers now had options. The US was no longer the only game in town. Countries worldwide were making aggressive pitches to attract the world's best minds. The global competition for talent had never been fiercer. America's loss was quickly becoming the world's gain. The clash between Trump's restrictions and Carney's open arms signaled a major shift in global tech power. The US, once the undisputed leader, risked losing its edge by shutting out foreign talent. Carney's strategy was to make Canada the new epicenter of innovation. Every engineer choosing Toronto over Silicon Valley was a win for Canada's tech ecosystem. Tech hubs thrive on network effects. Talent attracts more talent, fueling growth. If enough skilled workers relocate, new innovation centers could emerge outside the US. The contrast in leadership was clear. Trump closed doors, Carney opened them. Canada was betting on openness and collaboration to drive prosperity. The global race for talent was reshaping the future of innovation. Trump's H-1B fee may be remembered for its spectacular backfire. Instead of protecting American jobs, it risked sending them, and the talent that creates them, abroad. Canada, with its welcoming policies, stood ready to reap the rewards. The influx of skilled professionals could supercharge Canada's tech sector. Skilled immigrants are job creators, not job takers. America's dominance was built on attracting global talent. Abandoning that strategy created a vacuum. Carney's Canada was eager to fill it. The great American brain drain may have just begun. In trying to make America great, Trump may have made Canada greater.